Onions and garlic play a very integral part. It's the most important ingredient in tikka masala. 15% of a tikka masala sauce is onions. 1% is garlic.
But as a product for the domestic consumer and home cook, onions have always had an irritating side effect.
I cry all the time with onions as soon as I start chopping them.
Sometimes you burn your eyes.
Makes your eyes water when you peel it.
In an attempt to do away with the nasty side effects and persuade us to eat more raw onions, growers worked hand in hand with scientists to develop a no-tears onion.
The aim was to have a way of measuring onion strength and onion quality that would be useful for onion growers in the UK.
The sulphur compounds that make us cry are unstable and as a result incredibly hard to measure. But scientists found that by measuring pyruvate, a compound linked to the sulphur compounds, they could tell which onion varieties were more or less likely to make us cry.
The way that we measure the amount of pyruvate in onions, it's really a very simple test. All we do is we take a section of onion and mix it up in a blender with some water so it's all completely broken up. And then we take a small amount of that water, and that now has the pyruvate from the onion within it. And we then measure the concentration of the pyruvate using a chemical test where the amount of red colour that's produced is directly related to the amount of pyruvate. So the lighter the colour, the sweeter and milder the onions are.
But that was only half the story. Growers could now select their sweetest onion and find the perfect conditions for growing it.
Bearing in mind that a super sweet has low sulphurous products and you want to enhance the sugar levels, first we need to identify sites that are low in sulphur, naturally low in sulphur. Secondly, we need to make sure that any inputs that go to those fields are sulphurless. And thirdly, we need to promote canopy, that's the foliage of the onions, to grow very quickly. The bigger the canopy, the more light they'll trap and the sweeter the onion will become. The super sweet onion is exceptionally sweet, and some say it tastes just like an apple. In fact, it's sweeter than an apple.
The super sweet took 5 years to develop and has now found a place on the market, with sales doubling every year.
They're not very strong. Yeah, that's because they're sweet.
This onion? Yeah? You sure?
Tastes like pickled onions without the pickle.
The market for onions and garlic has also been affected by the increasing demand for fresh and local produce.
Food shopping is most certainly changing in Britain, and it is changing rapidly. It's not just supermarkets anymore, it's farmers' markets, and with that has come an increased range in all sorts of products, especially onions.
People want to know that their food is good quality, it's not genetically modified, that's why organic has come to the fore. And so you might see people starting to talk about, well, is this a sweet onion, is it a red onion, is this a garlic from the Isle of Wight?
I've sold garlic for about 40 years. When we used to first bring it over from France, it was very limited quantities. And now it's just so completely different. It's just a normal commodity. Everybody wants local produce. Everybody wants stuff from as near as they can get it. It holds much more taste.
And the consumer is also hungry for different varieties.
We're growing elephant garlic. We're growing purple garlic. We're growing white garlic. There's a different garlic for every place that garlic grows. Garlic acclimatizes to the area where it grows. I suppose there could be 500 to 1,000 different types easily.
And this opened up a world of possibilities in the kitchen.
Our purple garlic from Moldova makes the best garlic bread you'll ever taste. You crush it and it just exudes a bouquet. Mix it with the butter. Absolutely incredible.
Everybody loves garlic bread. Trouble is, we all tend to buy that pre-made stuff that you put in the oven and heat up, and it's rubbish. You could make 20 of your own loaves for the price of one of those. And I think most people don't do it because they think they don't know a quick and easy bread recipe. So if they don't now, they will in a minute. All you need to do is either have a mixer or a large glass bowl. Flour. Next in is some brown sugar. Dried yeast. So we're going to add some olive oil. Finally, some water. Just pour that in. Right, so we've bunged it all in, no problems so far. And this is the really important bit. We're now kneading the dough. And whilst that's happening, it's being stretched and pulled. And that is strengthening the gluten network, which binds the whole dough together. Right, let me just show you what we've got now. We've got a really silky, sticky dough, but it's really smooth and lovely. And what we need to do now is prove that dough. In order to prevent sort of skin forming on top of the dough, we need to cling film it over. Now that, left in the right place, will take about 20 minutes to double in size. Whilst that's happening, we're going to make a garlic butter. Pop your butter in, and we're just going to melt that very, very gently. I'm going to put a little bit of sea salt into there, give it a nice crunch. Bit of cracked pepper, and finally, got about 4 cloves of finely chopped garlic. Give it a quick stir around. The garlic butter is done. Now you can see that that is now twice the size it was, and if I just push it like that, you can see that that's full of gas. Now we need to do something to this that bakers call knocking back, and it's very simple. All we're doing is just pushing some of the air out of the dough, and we'll pop it onto the table like that, and then dust the work surface a little bit. And then, with a rolling pin, just roll this out. When you've got a size rolled out that you're happy with, get your fingers, pop them into the flour, and just indent the dough. And what that's going to do is help catch some of that precious garlic butter while it cooks. So, dough onto the tray, and then we'll take our garlic butter, give it a final mix, and then dribble some of that over the bread. And that goes into the oven for between 12 and 15 minutes. Right, look at this. Just going to put a little bit more garlic butter on, because I reckon you can never have enough. So just scatter some more on, let it soak in a bit. Now, I'm going to cut it with one of these, because it seems the most sensible thing. Now, just before we hand it round, I'm just going to sample it. Oh, I'll tell you what, that is really special. Dive in, let me know what you think. It's nice, isn't it? Oh, isn't it? Oh, it's lovely, isn't it?
It is, amazing.
Yeah. Anybody else want some more? Just pretend you do. There you go. Come on, we've got to finish it up. What about the big fat cameraman? There we are. Lovely.